And I'm running out of memory there. This is going to have to be a 2 video real quick, but I'm going to go ahead and finish my thought real quick. So basically we're starting it, or we're ending up in this position here, not the best produced force from, so we need to drop your touching point an inch to an inch and a half further down. So you go from here to here. Beautiful, stacked, ready to produce and transfer force, okay? This is going to help so much with your ability to bench press. But at the same time, starting from a better position will help control the eccentric and will more likely put you in that better position at the bottom. So dropping the touching point a little bit is going to be a good idea, but also focusing on getting a better starting position is going to be helpful as well. And the last thing I want to cover with you is going to be your squat. So there's two big things I want to cover in the squat. One, when it comes to lat engagement is very important because your lats are a spinal stabilizer. So if you want your spine to be fully stabilized, we have to engage your lats, which is obviously important. Now, what a lot of people do to engage your lats is do this. So get ready to squat and then just pull them in passively. That does not engage your lats. So pulling them in can help, but at the same time, what we need to do is meaningfully pull that barbell down. The harder we pull the barbell down, like a lat pull down, the better lat engagement you're going to get to an extent. So I want you to focus on pulling that barbell down as hard as you can and keeping that tension on the barbell throughout the entirety of the lift rather than passively just pulling those elbows in. That's going to be a big help. Second, and a bigger issue, is extension. So I'm going to briefly just explain this real quick. When it comes to extension is, or spine deviations in general, is always something we want to avoid in any loaded movement. Here's why. When somebody goes into lumbar extension or flexion, their bracing is greatly deteriorated. Their bracing goes from 100% capacity to way less. Their bracing is not able to function at its full capabilities. Now, if bracing is jeopardized, so is everything that's controlled by bracing, which is motor pattern, which is muscle engagement, which is stability, which is so many other things. So the second we minimize our bracing, we minimize our squat as an entirety. So that's the first thing it does, okay? So when we go into extension, flexion, have any spine deviation, it minimizes our bracing. The second thing it does, and these isn't even the two things, they're just the two biggest things, is changes our length-tension relationships downstream. So when I go into extension, my hamstrings are lengthened, my quads are shortened, every muscle downstream changes length-tension relationship, which puts them at a higher risk of injury, but furthermore, it does not allow them to produce force nearly as well. So we always, for these two reasons alone, always want to prevent spine deviations, and if we have any, our number one goal is to take them away. This is going to be the biggest thing I want to work on for the weeks to follow. This is the biggest thing we have to improve on, and once we improve on it, aesthetics are going to get better, strength's going to get better, function's going to get better, mobility's going to get better, everything's going to get better. This is our biggest focus right now. Okay, so when you see somebody do this during their squat, that's extension. That there is extension. Okay? So what made it occur? What happened in that squat just now that made extension occur? My chest didn't hinge. A hinging mechanics are your upper body folding forward at the same rate your hips go back. So this is hinging mechanics. That's a good hinge, okay? Hips go back at the same rate chest comes forward. If we don't hinge in our squat and our hips travel back, this is what happens. Extension. Extension happens. That's lumbar extension. The lumbar extension causes all those issues I talked about before, which we obviously don't want to happen. So what you need to do to fix it, and let's go and look at the video real quick. So what I'm talking about here is, so watch your upper body compared to your hips. Watch the extension that takes place in our low spine, our lumbar spine. Right there. So that right there is extension. Now, again, it's not happening to the most massive degree ever, but again, that's going to have detrimental effects to those two components I talked about before, extension right there. So it's happening about 2/3 down through the eccentric. And the reason it's happening is because your hips are continuously traveling back like they should, but upper body's not falling forward. We're trying to stay too upright. When you stay too upright, extension always takes place. Extension, okay? But right now, it looks more like this. Extension, about 2/3 down, okay? So the way we fix it, super simple. Act like someone's pulling your shirt forward and go with it. All we have to do is this. No more extension. All we have to do is fold forward with our upper body. Someone's pulling my shirt forward. Perfect squat position. No more extension, okay? So we need this chest to come forward. That's all it is. Super simple, and that'll make your squat far better, just like that, immediate benefit. Now, I think that's about it for this week, though. Let me know if you have any questions. Stay safe out there.